Welcome back to Finanzergy, your go-to channel for practical financial advice. Today, we're diving into one of the most important elements of personal finance, building and maintaining a strong emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Car repairs, medical bills, job losses, and other unexpected expenses can happen at any time. That's why it's essential to have a financial safety net in place. In this video, we'll teach you how to start building your emergency fund, how much you should save, and how to keep it intact when life throws curveballs. Let's get started. What is an emergency fund, and why do you need one? First, let's talk about what an emergency fund actually is. Simply put, an emergency fund is money set aside for unexpected expenses, things like medical bills, home repairs, car accidents, or even job loss. The goal is to have enough money saved so that if something goes wrong, you can cover the cost without going into debt or ruining your financial stability. Think of it as your financial safety net, something that protects you from unexpected financial emergencies without sacrificing your long-term financial goals. Without an emergency fund, you might end up relying on credit cards, loans, or high-interest debt to cover unexpected costs, which can make a bad situation even worse. 2. How much should you save for your emergency fund? Now, the big question: how much should you save? While the answer will vary depending on your individual situation, a general rule of thumb is to save between 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This amount will provide a solid cushion for most people in case of unexpected events. For example, if your monthly expenses, including rent, utilities, food, transportation, etc., total $3,000, aim to save between $9,000 to $18,000 for your emergency fund. However, if you're self-employed, have dependents, or work in an industry with less job security, you might want to aim for a larger emergency fund, up to 12 months of living expenses for extra peace of mind. The key is to build an amount that allows you to feel secure and prepared for any financial emergencies. 3. Where should you keep your emergency fund? Once you've determined how much to save, the next question is, where should you keep your emergency fund? The goal is to keep your emergency fund accessible and safe, but you don't want it to be so easily accessible that you're tempted to spend it. A high-yield savings account is a great place to store your emergency fund. It offers easy access to your money, and you can typically earn a bit of interest on your savings. Some good online banks that offer high-yield savings accounts include Ally, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and Discover. Alternatively, you can keep your emergency fund in a money market account or a short-term certificate of deposit (CD), which will also allow you to earn interest while still providing a level of liquidity. Just make sure the account is federally insured, FDIC insured in the U.S., to ensure your funds are protected. 4. How to start building your emergency fund. Tips for success. Building your emergency fund doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and commitment. But with the right strategies, you can steadily grow your savings. Here are some tips to help you get started. Start small and set realistic goals. If you can't save $1,000 right away, don't worry. Start with what you can and gradually increase your savings each month. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund savings account each month. Even if it's just $50 or $100, automating your savings helps you stay consistent and reach your goal faster. Cut unnecessary expenses. Review your monthly spending and see where you can cut back. By reducing discretionary expenses like dining out, entertainment, or impulse buys, you can free up more money to put into your emergency fund. Use windfalls. Any unexpected extra money, whether it's a tax refund, work bonus, or gift, can be added directly to your emergency fund. These windfalls are a great way to accelerate your progress. 5. Keeping your emergency fund safe. Don't dip into it unless absolutely necessary. Once your emergency fund is up and running, it's crucial to keep it intact for true emergencies. This means resisting the urge to use it for non-essential purchases, vacations, or anything else that isn't an emergency. One of the most common mistakes people make is dipping into their emergency fund for things that can wait. For example, if you want a new phone or a vacation, those are not emergencies. Those are expenses that can be planned for. To prevent temptation, it's a good idea to have a separate savings account for non-emergency goals like vacations, new gadgets, or big-ticket purchases. This way, You can focus your emergency fund on its intended purpose, covering unexpected costs when they arise. 6. When should you use your emergency fund? So, when should you actually use your emergency fund? Only in true emergencies such as medical emergencies or unexpected health expenses, car repairs, or replacing a vehicle if you rely on it for work, job loss or reduced income that lasts for a period of time, home repairs like fixing a leaking roof or furnace breakdown. Using your emergency fund for anything outside of these categories can leave you unprepared when a true emergency strikes. It's important to treat your emergency fund as sacred and only use it when there's no other option. 7. Rebuilding your emergency fund after use. If you do have to use your emergency fund for an unexpected expense, don't panic. The important thing is to rebuild it as quickly as possible. Make a plan to restore your emergency fund by setting aside a portion of your income each month. It might take some time, but with consistency and commitment, you can rebuild your fund and get back to feeling financially secure. The key is to prioritize replenishing your emergency fund before putting money into other non-essential areas, like entertainment or luxury purchases. And that's it for today's video on building and maintaining a strong emergency fund. We've covered how much to save, where to keep it, and how to avoid dipping into it unless it's absolutely necessary. Having a well-stocked emergency fund is one of the most powerful ways to protect your financial well-being and secure your future. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Finanzergy for more expert tips on managing money, saving, and investing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.